As all of these events pass us by, we have the privilege of attending an effortless history lesson the VHPA presents to you at the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum. The pilots, their wives, and guests can look forward to a night of food, free drinks, and a chance to novel upon the world's best aeronautics from past to present.
Hi, I'm Joe Belitsky, National Reunion Chairman for the Vietnam Helicopter Pilots Association, and we are at the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum this evening. The association has bought out the museum. This is for the exclusive use of our members tonight. We decided what better place for helicopter pilots of old than a museum that shows all of the aircraft, some of the aircraft that we flew, and some of the aircraft that our children will probably never see again.
The Smithsonian Institution's National Air and Space Museum maintains the world's largest collection of historic aircraft and spacecraft. Among some 50,000 artifacts that range in size from Saturn V rockets, to jetliners, to gliders, to space helmets and microchips, has made the museum a vital center for historical research on aviation and spaceflight. The museum has two public display facilities which opened in July of 1976. It houses many of the icons of flight, including the original 1903 Wright Flyer, Charles Lindbergh's Spirit of St. Louis, Chuck Yeager's Bell X-1, John Glenn's Friendship 7 spacecraft, the Apollo 11 command module, and a lunar rock sample that visitors can touch. Since the opening, the building on the mall has been the most visited museum facility in the world, attracting on average more than 9 million people annually. So all the get drunk for free cards were handed out, and the private feast upon a gourmet dinner and dessert began. Now, of course, there's always a chance to be reunited with old friends once again. But for John Hamrick of the 173rd Assault Helicopter Company, aka the Robin Hoods, the reunion of a lifetime happened to be waiting for him ready and on display.
Well, the Huey that's over there is actually came from the Robin Hood. It's got a Robin Hood type hat on it. And they came from the 173rd Assault Helicopter Company and flew there. And that's what they used for the shadow display.
That particular helicopter, when it came back to the States, it was stationed at Fort Stewart, Georgia. And when I came back from Vietnam, having flown with the 175th Assault Helicopter Company, the Outlaws, I was an instructor pilot in the tactics branch at Fort Stewart and flew that very helicopter on several occasions, teaching South Vietnamese students how to fly helicopters.
With gentlemen like John getting to reminisce with first-hand examples, many of the others begin to reflect back to their first time they ever set foot in a Huey.
But the first experience with a helicopter was very unique. The instructor pilot started it up, taxied it out, took off. We went out to a big field, about a 40-acre field. And he put the helicopter right in the middle of the field. And he said, okay, he says, now I'm going to give you the aircraft, and when I say you have it, you have the aircraft. So put your hands on the controls and your feet on the pedals. And when I say you have it, you have it. And I said, okay, no problem. So I put my feet on the controls, took the hand controls. He says, you got it. And he folded his hands and took his feet off the pedals like this. And I sat there for about 3 seconds, and then everything went to hell. The aircraft started doing this, and I was all over that 40 acres until he finally said, I got it. He took the aircraft and he just stopped. And that was my introduction to flying helicopters.
The military wasn't all fun and games, as you know, but I'm sure all these flight school attendees are thankful for what they learned while serving, for it made them who they are today.
So it was a great job, and I really appreciate what the Army did for me. Took a poor, uneducated boy off the hard scrabble in Arkansas, sent him to school, educated him, sent him around the world, gave him an opportunity to do some very interesting things.
It also created a serious passion for flying.
As far as the Smithsonian is concerned, for an aviator, this is like a kid in a candy store. We're seeing aircraft that we dreamed about when we were kids, and we watched the movies, and it's just a fabulous experience. I just can't believe I'm looking at the aircraft that I thought didn't even exist. So it really has been exciting. This is so far, I think, the best thing as far as this reunion is concerned, other than meeting my friends. So let me take that back. That wasn't that big a deal. We would have got the airplanes were more important.
And it may have even made them just a little bit cocky.
I pity you poor people on the ground.
But the moral of the evening was,
Flying a Huey on a mission was about like making love to a good woman. Right? It's true. And it is. It's like that. You develop a relationship with the aircraft after a while, and you develop this control touch that we were talking about, where you don't have to make those big control movements. All you do is you just make very slight movements, and you just lead the aircraft into where you want it to go.
And that's what you do to a girl, huh?
That's what you do with a girl.
those are the two things these men will never forget and will always take seriously. So on to day 4. Are you ready? We bet you aren't.